Hi, everybody, and welcome to this presentation on Ireland. I'm delighted to welcome so many of you on the line. I'm going to talk about a few things about Ireland as an international study destination. But what I'd like to do is to start here, first of all, and think about why Ireland is a really attractive study destination. I think the key thing to think about with Ireland is the return on investment. And return on investment for me is a really interesting concept and a really important one for international students to think about. And it's basically an equation, isn't it? It is made up of two parts: what you put in and what you get out. And I'm going to show you here on the screen how I think of the equation for Ireland: what you put in and what you get out. The first part of what you put in is the cost of tuition. And in Ireland, you can study for as little as €9,000 per year. You can complete a master's degree in just 1 year. And so the cost of tuition can be really affordable in Ireland. I'll tell you a bit about our partners in a moment, but our cheapest partner, IT Sligo, our partner outside of Dublin, does have degrees that you can study for less than €9,000 per year. Our more expensive partners, the elite institutions like Dublin City University, the fees are more like 14, 15, 16,000 euros per year. But for a master's degree, which you complete in 1 year, that is still pretty affordable when you compare international study destinations around the world. Don't forget, when you're comparing affordability, to also include living costs. And in Ireland, in Dublin, the capital city of Ireland, you can live, and so that is your accommodation, that is your food, that is your travel, your living costs for around 10,000 euros per year. You can probably live a little bit more cheaply in Dublin, but we would advise about 10,000 euros per year as living costs. And don't forget that also in Ireland, when you come as a student, you benefit from the study visa. That is a stamp 2 long-term visa that lets you work during your studies. You can earn while you learn. You can work for 20 hours a week during the semester and 40 hours a week during the holidays. And the holidays are actually a third of the year: 1 month at Christmas, December to January, and 3 months over the summer, June, July, August. This minimum wage actually has increased. It's now just over €10 an hour is the minimum wage that you need to be paid when you work in Ireland. So all of that goes into making what you put in to an education in Ireland really pretty affordable. What you get out, the other half of that equation, is also really important to consider, because it's a really high value. And this is what makes the return on investment for Ireland so attractive for international students. You get a highly ranked degree. All of the universities in Ireland are in the top 5% of universities worldwide. Many of the programs that you'll study will include an internship or a work placement as part of the degree itself. Then you get a post-study work visa when you graduate. You get a 1-year post-study work visa for a bachelor's graduate and a 2-year post-study work visa for a master's graduate. Don't forget that the master's degree is typically 1 year, and then you get that 2 years, those 24 months post-study work visa. Great return on investment there. And you are graduating from your degree into an economy that really needs high-skilled workers. And I'll come on to tell you a bit about that in a moment. But you have a real opportunity to take advantage of the career opportunities that there are in Ireland because of that post-study work visa. Before I go on to talk about that, let's just talk about the big thing that it's on everybody's minds right now, which is coronavirus and COVID. I want to share with you some of the things that the Irish government has been doing to support international students. And the main message coming out of Ireland is that we are open right now. Visa offices all around the world are open now and issuing student visas for students to come to Ireland for the autumn, the fall term, starting in September. Students can come to Ireland, and as you know, visa offices in your own country, in India, are open right now, issuing visas for students to come. And this is because the coronavirus situation in Ireland has really been getting well under control. Ireland acted pretty swiftly in early March. The first restrictions started being put in place, and by mid-March in Ireland, non-essential businesses were closed, schools and colleges were closed, and because we acted so quickly and effectively, first of all, we didn't need to go into some of the more extreme forms of lockdown in Ireland that we've seen in other countries around the world. So there was never a curfew in Ireland, for example. We were advised to stay home as much as possible, but we were allowed to leave our homes for essential services, food, and for medicine, also to exercise. So we never had to go into the most extreme forms of lockdown, and also because of that swift and effective action, we've come out of the lockdown. We've reopened the economy faster and loosened restrictions faster, even than we expected that we would. So our previous Prime Minister, and we've just changed Prime Ministers in Ireland, but our previous Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, 2 weeks ago, announced that what had been a 5-phase plan to come out of lockdown and to reopen the economy, that's now been condensed. That's now been accelerated to a 4-phase plan. And by the summer, by early August, most of the economy should be reopened. Certainly campuses will be reopened by early August. Now that is the summer holidays for students here. So that will be mostly staff returning to their offices. They've been working from home for the last 3 months here in Ireland since lockdown and middle of March, but they'll be able to return to campuses. And then by the autumn, as the new semester starts, university students will be able to return to the campuses as well. So really positive here. Now, we need to be cautious, and the world is an uncertain place, but it really does feel like Ireland has got the coronavirus under control and is reopening pretty well and pretty rapidly here. I wanted to show you this, some of the, I wanted to show you this, some of the steps that the Irish government has taken to support international students. I'm just going to share this on the screen. You may have seen this already from Education in Ireland, the Irish government agency, and it lists some of the things that the Irish government has done to support international students. You'll know that there is free healthcare for international students right now. You'll know also that anybody who has lost a job in Ireland is eligible for a welfare payment from the government. Now, that is not just Irish citizens. That is not even just EU citizens. That actually includes anybody that's living and working here in Ireland, and that includes international students, and it includes people who've lost a part-time job because of coronavirus. Those students, maybe they were working in hotels, which many of them closed at the beginning of the crisis in March. They're starting to reopen now, but any student who's lost a part-time job there or in a restaurant, for example, they're eligible for that €350 a week payment from the Irish government. And that has been fantastic for our students who've needed that help. It's been really great that they have been able to receive support, but it's also really important for the message that it sends international students around the world. The message is that Ireland values you. We want you here. We want you to stay in the country, and we want to help you as best as we can. And look, let's talk about why that is. It's a pretty straightforward reason. Ireland is a small country. We have a population of 4.7 million people, and we have an economy that has been growing really rapidly and needs high-skilled workers. Let me show you a couple of things here, just about what the economy looked like last year heading into the crisis. Yeah, so last year we had unemployment at 4.4%, which is a number below 5% that economists call full employment. Anybody who wants a job can get a job, is that definition of full employment. We had that in Ireland last year. We had very high graduate employment rates, and that's reflected in the salaries. Take a look at this. An undergraduate graduating from a higher education institution in Ireland was getting an average salary of just under 30,000 euros a year. But take a look at the master's average graduate salary. Over 40,000 euros per year was the average master's graduate salary. That's the average, including all degrees. Those in the technology sector, in business, were commanding higher salaries than that as they came out of their master's degree, and of course took advantage of that 2-year post-study work visa. All of these big US technology companies, you'll know their logos. They have their European headquarters not in London, not in Frankfurt, not in Paris, but in Dublin, and that's one of the reasons for those high salaries in Ireland. There is a big innovative technology sector in Ireland, looking for high quality graduates, looking for people to hire. Now, we're in an uncertain world. The health crisis globally has turned into an economic crisis globally, but there are some reasons to be really confident about Ireland's economy and the way in which it will bounce back coming out of this global crisis. I want to show you some of the headlines that we've been getting around the world about Ireland. Just to demonstrate that. Look, one of the reasons for Ireland's resilience is the strength of the economy going into this crisis. Another reason is the swift action that the government took. And so, I told you the way in which it supported international students, but there is a raft of measures to support businesses here as well. But another reason that people are saying that Ireland will bounce back amongst the best countries in the world out of this global economic crisis is because of the nature of the businesses in Ireland. So take a look at these headlines, talking about the technology companies. Take a look at that OECD report that came out a couple of months ago, talking about Ireland as the best placed country in Europe to recover from this crisis. That is because we are, not just for the reasons that I've given, but because we are strong in some sectors that we are already seeing benefiting from the global crisis and being resilient in that crisis. Of course, the technology companies with those zooming share prices that are really benefiting from what we've seen around the world, but also in sectors like medicine, in the pharmaceutical industry, and in some of those combined sectors, med tech, for example, a real strength in Ireland, and a sector that we're really expecting to be resilient in this crisis. Financial services are strong in Ireland, technology is strong in Ireland, but financial technology, fintech, as a result, is also very strong. And some of those innovative players and some of the some of the innovation that we're seeing right now is really well represented in Ireland, and so for those reasons, I think we should have some real confidence that Ireland is well placed to come out of this global crisis really rapidly.